I asked God for flowers, and He gave me rain. When you understand this, everything starts to make sense. There's power in solitude, power in walking alone, power in standing firm when the world turns its back on you. Some of the strongest people in history were shaped in silence, sharpened by struggle, and hardened by loneliness. Because here's the truth: no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success, happiness, or purpose. It's on you. The world doesn't owe you a thing. And the moment you realize that, that's the moment you become unstoppable. Being alone doesn't mean being weak. It means being self-sufficient. It means being the kind of person who doesn't need permission to rise, who doesn't wait for validation to chase a dream. It means standing in the fire, feeling the heat, and choosing to keep going anyway. You were not born to blend in. You were not made to follow the crowd. You were built to lead, to carve your own path, to stand in your own power. Because being alone is not a curse. It's a weapon. And if you learn how to use it, you will become a force that cannot be broken. When you're young, you believe you have all the time in the world. But you don't. Time is the greatest illusion, a silent thief that tricks you into thinking there's always a later. There isn't. Life moves in a blink, and before you know it, the moments you took for granted become the ones you wish you could relive. But by then, it's too late. I once heard a man say, "I'd trade everything I have for the one thing you still possess." I asked him, "What's that?" He locked eyes with me and said, "Youth. There is no tomorrow, no perfect moment waiting ahead. All you have is now. So stop waiting, stop hesitating, live now, move now, be now. If you're serious about changing your life, you'll find a way. If you're not, you'll find an excuse." That's the brutal truth. David Goggins once said, "Look around you. There was no team. It was you. No weight loss program. No mom or dad waking you up to push you forward. You built belief when you had nothing." That's power. That's resilience. That's the kind of warrior mindset that forges kings and queens. Pain is the doorway. Pain is the teacher. And pain is temporary, but quitting is forever. Every great person you admire, every legend, every warrior, every titan of industry, they all have one thing in common. They went through hell and didn't stop. They didn't whine about how unfair life was. They didn't sit and complain that they had it harder than others. They used it as fuel. They let it forge them into something greater. Surround yourself with power, not gossip. Sit at a table where conversations elevate you, where they talk about God, the universe, growth, wealth, dreams, and ambition. Not people, not drama, not small minds discussing others. Because where you sit, who you listen to, and what you absorb will shape your future more than you realize. A yes from God blesses you. A no from God protects you. And waiting on God, that's where He prepares you. So if it feels like nothing is happening, trust that something bigger is being built. You are not lost. You are being shaped. You are not alone. You are in training. Every delay, every obstacle, every moment of uncertainty, it's all part of the process. Manifestation is real, but it doesn't start with wishing. It starts with speaking. Speak life into your dreams. Speak abundance into your future. Speak victory over your struggles. And don't just whisper it, declare it. Speak it until your voice shakes. Speak it until the walls of doubt collapse. Speak it until the entire universe has no choice but to make space for your greatness. Your words have power. Your thoughts have power. So change the way you think. Change the way you speak. Because the second you truly decide, when you commit with everything inside you, the universe moves. Doors unlock. People appear. Miracles happen. And when that happens, you won't just be sitting at the right table, you'll be leading it. Stop waiting. Start living. Don't leave anything for later. Later, the coffee gets cold. Later, you lose interest. Later, the day turns into night. Later, people grow up. Later, people grow old. Later, life goes by. Later, you regret not doing something when you had the chance. How many times have you told yourself, "I'll start tomorrow"? How many dreams have you postponed, waiting for the perfect moment? The perfect moment doesn't exist. It never has. It never will. Life doesn't wait. Time doesn't pause. And every second you hesitate is a second you will never get back. And the clock is ticking. And while you're still standing at the starting line, life is moving. The opportunities you think will always be there, they won't. The people you assume will always be around, they won't. One day, you'll look back and realize the only thing standing between you and the life you wanted was the waiting. You say you're waiting for the right time, the right mindset, the right circumstances. But the truth? You're waiting out of fear. You're waiting because it's easier to put things off than to face the discomfort of starting. You're waiting because starting means risking failure. But guess what? Not starting is the only real failure. How long are you willing to keep waiting? Another day? Another year? Another lifetime? The harsh reality is, you don't have forever. The stars won't magically align. The road won't clear itself. The doors won't open unless you walk toward them and knock. So stop waiting. Stop convincing yourself that later will be easier. It won't. The only time you have is right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not someday. Now. Because the difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't talent, luck, or intelligence. It's the decision to start, without hesitation, without excuses, without waiting for later. So take the risk, make the call, write the first page, start the business, say what you need to say, do what you need to do, because later isn't guaranteed and regret lasts forever. The game of life, rise or fall. The truth is, no matter what game you're playing in life, you're going to lose sometimes. A point, a match, a season, a job, a relationship. You will stumble. You will fall. You will fail. That's inevitable. Life isn't a straight climb to the top. It's a brutal roller coaster with dizzying highs and gut-wrenching lows. But here's what separates the weak from the warriors, the ones who get back up. The greatest champions in history, they weren't born different. They weren't gifted with an easier path. They were built in the fire of failure. They took the losses, felt the heartbreak, and stared defeat in the face. But instead of staying down, they stood back up, again and again and again. Because the man who never fell has no story to tell, no scars to prove he fought, no battle-tested resilience. But the man who fell and got back up, that's where the story is written. The man who fell 20 times and got up 21, that's where the legend is born. So the next time life knocks you to your knees, don't ask why it happened. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Ask yourself this instead: how fast can I rise? How hard can I hit back? Because every time you stand up, you send a message to the universe. I don't break. I don't quit. I don't stop. And that's the mindset that turns failures into victories. That's the mindset that builds champions. Steve Harvey once said, "If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start." Who's gonna stop you? Unless you tell the wrong person. The person who never dared to dream. The person who has only known smallness. The person who tells you, be realistic. Get a safe job. Do what everyone else is doing. But guess what? Your dream wasn't given to them. It was given to you. And that means you are the one who must fight for it. Trust me, Lock in for 1 year. 1 year of relentless work. 1 year of discipline. 1 year of waking up every day and choosing yourself. And watch how your world changes. It doesn't matter if it's January or July. Start right now, this second, because nothing changes if nothing changes. You cannot expect to do the same things as last year and get a different outcome. You have to be willing to go all in, because if you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. This means losing people, losing comfort, losing the old you. This means sacrifice. It means sleepless nights. It means hunger and isolation. It means stepping into the darkness, alone. But it also means victory. It means self-respect. It means becoming the person you were always meant to be. The goal isn't to meet the right person, the goal is to become the right person. Because when you are whole, when you are solid in your own foundation, everything else falls into place. Love finds you when you don't need it to complete you. Success finds you when you no longer chase validation. Peace finds you when you learn to stand alone, powerful and unwavering. And that is when you become unstoppable. And the final stand, own your life. At the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of. It's on you. You can either keep waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances, or you can take what's yours. Right here, right now. Because life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path. It will knock you down so hard you'll wonder if you even have the strength to stand. But the difference between those who make it and those who don't? One simple decision. The decision to rise, to fight for your dreams, even when the world tells you they're impossible. To keep pushing forward, even when you don't see results. To believe in yourself, even when no one else does. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are powerful beyond measure. So stand up, show up, and make the life you want happen. Because one day, you'll look back at this moment, the moment you chose to stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start moving, and you'll realize that was the day everything changed.